can ya? Hi, everybody. Penny won't cross the line to come over because I have a light set up. I'm on one of our sofas, and I thought it would be fun to just do some crocheting because I had some time, and I have about half hour or so that I can crochet today before I have my next appointment. And I thought if you had a craft that you were doing, we could sit and do it together. I don't know if you can even hear her. Probably should. There we go. Turn up my volume. But yeah, she won't come over because I have some lights set up, and she won't cross that. She's very scared of the light stand. Penny girl, come on. Come on, Penny. Come on, Penny. No? Come on. Here, come on. No, she won't come. She won't go under it. She won't go around it. Come on, Pen. Come on. You can do it. Get up here. Get up here. If I get her up here, she won't leave. Come on. Come on, Betty. Get up here. Come on, girl. Good girl. You got it. Come on. So if you're just joining, I'm just trying to get my dog up on the chair, and then I'm going to do some crochet, and I have a pattern I'll show you. Oh, she won't. She's moved already. Come on. Try again. Come on. Good girl. Oh, she's here. Penny, do you want to say hi to your adoring fans? Welcome, everybody. My name's Lisa, and this is One Lisa Show. And I thought if you were a knitter or a crocheter, it is about 10:30 where I am in Indiana. And I have a little time to kill, not a lot. So this isn't going to be long, but I do love to watch the sit-in knits that various other people do. And I have recently started crocheting again. And this is what I accomplished so far. I'm making a sweater for my nieces, right, Pen? Penny does love to tangle up the yarn. And I am making a sweater. It's a free pattern I found on Yarnspirations, and it is a child's crochet cardigan. So I'm going to pop that up here. If you go to yarnspirations.com, you can find that pattern for free, and it takes a size 4 yarn. They suggest Karen Simply Soft. You okay, Pen? They suggest Karen Simply Soft, and I don't have that, and it comes in sizes 2 to 10. I'm making the size 10 for my nieces. It's a crocheted pattern, and it's a relatively, it looks like an easy pattern. And I'm using Vanna's Choice, and the color is called Pink Grapefruit. I think I have 6 of these balls of Vanna's Choice, and so I am going to use that and try to make this in a size 10. And it's pretty simple. It is, first I did the rib, and that was a bunch of single crochets, and now I am onto the body of the back, and that is alternating single crochet and double crochet. So I'm going to knit or crochet and see if anybody has any comments or wants to chat, and I'm sure Penny will come through here and get in the way, and Big Daddy should be home soon. So for my she's jumped off, and now she wants to jump back on. There we go. There's Penny. I'm just sitting in my living room. I really enjoy knitting and crocheting. I'm not the biggest knitter, but crocheting just to me kind of, the downside is it uses more yarn, I think, than knitting does, but for me it's easier, and I don't know how much crocheting I'll get done with this dog right here on me now that she's realized she can come around and jump on the other side. But I hope everybody's doing good today. I was trying to put out more content. I'm working on my sewing wise. I'm working on my Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans, and those jeans are coming along very nice. I'm using a very thin 4.5-ounce stretch denim from Beyond the Pink Door. It's very nice. I love the stretch in it. It's going to be a lightweight pant. I feel like I'm almost done. In the next couple of days, I should be done. I have to do the outer seams of the legs and then attach the belt loops and the waistband and then my buttons, and I'll be done. That's really exciting. The downside is that I don't really want to do the next step unless I have enough time to do more. And right now I only have about a half hour, so I thought I can get a couple of rows of this done. But I have a dog now on my lap. And I'm wearing my new look camp shirt. I forget the number. I complained about this in one of my Friday Sews videos because I think it turned out really good, except the arms are a little tight at the underarm part. But now that I've been wearing it, this is my second or third time wearing this shirt, and I'm okay with it. I've gotten used to it. It's still not, I would want a baggier sleeve for sure, but I do like it, and because of its pattern and its Halloween theme, I'm trying to wear it as much as I can right now because I want to get as much wear out of it because I did put a lot of time and effort into making it. Okay, Pen, it's all right. You can say hi to everybody? What do you think? So, what is everybody else working on today? Are you doing anything? Penny is just hanging out there looking at the camera. And I don't have any comments, and that's okay. More than likely, my mom is watching. I know my sister is at work. I don't know if my other sister is at work. I make a sweater for my nieces every year for Christmas. And we've been, for years, been in the unicorn phase. And I call the unicorn colors the light blue, the light pink, and the light lilac. Those are the unicorn colors. And this year I thought I'm going to use yarn that I already have. So I think last year I used yarn that I already had, and it was still light pink and like a violet fuchsia color because most of the stuff I have scraps of is those colors. But this year I had this that I purchased on sale on the Yarnspirations website, I think. Is that a Lion Brand website? And I purchased this Vanna's Choice, and it's just been sitting, so I figured it would be, well, it would be a great idea for me to actually use it. And Vanna's Choice yarn is very soft. It's an acrylic yarn, but it is very soft. And I think some of it, the label says benefits, I want to say St. Jude, or there's a charity involved that it does benefit. But I really love it. It's one of my favorite yarns to crochet or knit with because it has a really nice feel. And for an acrylic yarn, it's comfortable. It's comfortable to wear. It's not itchy. It's a very soft yarn. And this pattern, I have made this sweater for the girls, but not the cardigan version. I've made the full-on pullover sweater. And it does use, it's a yarn hungry pattern. You okay? Oh, my instructions fell. And that scared Penny. Can you tell she's a skittish little thing, isn't she? It's okay. Everything's cool, Pen. Okay, see you later. So I'll show you the weave of this currently. This is what it's looking like. And it's just alternating a single and double crochet. And it's a very nice chunky feel sweater. I would love to make this sweater for myself, but I always want to make everything I see for myself, and everything I make to my nieces I want to make for myself. The weather here in Indiana, we're right outside of Chicago. In fact, a lot of people where I live commute to Chicago for work, but they don't want to live in Chicago. A lot. The weather right now, yesterday it was like 75 degrees. It was pretty warm. It was sunny. It was beautiful. Our leaves are turning colors. Are you coming back up? It's just a really pretty time of year. And today it's supposed to turn, and it's going to get cooler, and it's going to rain. And it's going to rain for today and tomorrow this afternoon. So I think after that we'll have a lot of leaves that have fallen, and the colors won't be as pretty because the leaves are falling then at that point. But we do have a lot of gorgeous change of color right now, and my yard, we have a very wooded yard, so I'm seeing the splotches of red and auburn and orange and gold, and it is really, really cool. It's really neat. Oh, and Naomi. I love Penny. Good morning. Good morning, Naomi. And Penny's here, jittery as ever. I'm hoping she's okay today because it said it's supposed to rain here, but she is very scared of thunder. And we are in October, and where I live, that is hunting season. So we are in hunting season, and I live on the, I'd say we can hear hunting, like rifles and like rifles, we can hear it. But I don't think anybody's really hunting where we live because we do live in a neighborhood, and we're kind of right at the outskirts of town. But within 5 minutes is farmland, so to say that there is probably hunting going on, like we hear it. Penny, what is it? She doesn't like this light I have on because it's like a stand. Hopefully you got a picture, you got a glimpse of those eyes she was giving everybody. You just can't get comfy, can you? But this week we're hoping to go apple picking because apples are in season right now, and we have a couple of orchards near us. So we're hoping to get a chance to do some apple picking this week, which is awesome because as a I love to bake. I'm not a professional baker, but when it comes to apples, I love apple pie. I love apple slices. We make our own apple sauce, and it eventually apple butter because I'll just cook it till it's a paste. I don't know if anybody else does that, and then we just spread it on bread. Penny, what are you worried about? There's nothing to worry about. How's everybody else doing today? What's the weather like where you guys are? I'm waiting for it to change because we're supposed to get storms today. Yes. This is an odd time of day to have a live. I just had a couple of minutes and thought, why not? What the heck? And Penny, now that I know she doesn't like this particular light stand, probably won't use it again in the future. Maybe I'll situate back to where I was in my sewing room to do sit and knits. Sit and knit sounds nicer than sit and crochet. This is what she does all day long. Yeah, hey, what's going on? She'd rather be on my lap, but I'm crocheting, so she can't really sit on my lap while I crochet. She's wondering where, yeah, I know. Oh, California? California, is it nice there? I feel like California is so big that it encompasses all different weathers, doesn't it? I've never been to California. And you're organizing buttons. Well, that's good. One day I'll show you my button organizer. I went to, I want to say Walmart. It was Walmart or Cabela's, and got in the fishing section. I have a penny here now on my lip. In the fishing section, just a simple like organizer. It's plastic. It was like $4, and in the craft section they were so much more expensive. I think at Joann's, their craft section, it was pretty expensive, but if you go to like Walmart, in the fishing section, you get a no nonsense kind of clear plastic, and it has like 12 or 16 divider compartments, and that's what I did. And I put all my like similar buttons together in them. Some of them are distinct, certain colors or certain types of buttons. It's not a big organizer, but I was happy with it. I think I spent like $4 on it. So that was something I was proud of. But I feel like a lot of the stuff we use as sewers or crafting, we can use, it's the same tools. I can't tell you how many times I go into the garage and get a screwdriver out of my boyfriend's tools to use to undo my sewing machine. Or I do have an old-fashioned bond knitting machine, manual knitting machine. And that one also, it doesn't need tools per se, but it does need, sometimes there's maintenance that has to be done to it, and I need a tool, and I'll get them out of the garage. So for me to go to like Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards or Walmart in a different section, and I'll check there for different things that might be good for holding stuff or tools in general. But I do love a good button organization. I used to have a bucket of buttons. I don't know what happened to it. In one of my moves, I think I lost it, but it was an old margarine tub, like a super old margarine tub, and it had all different buttons in it, and I'm sure some of these buttons were from old clothes, some were from me buying buttons just because I thought they were pretty even when I wasn't sewing, and others I think were just buttons that kind of been handed down. In my mom's button container, she used to have a button container too. Maybe she might have had 2 of them. And just random buttons in these containers. And I had one as well, and I can't find it anymore. So I bought a bunch of buttons on Minerva's website because Joann's, it's just too expensive, I feel, to buy buttons there when I was ordering pretty regularly from Minerva. And Minerva, you can buy a single button, you can buy 10 buttons. I see a lot of knit fabrics, so I don't, oh, you want to wait buttons as much. Yeah, so, hold on. All messages are visible. I had the wrong thing up. I see a lot of knit fabrics, so I don't use buttons much. Just ordered Love Notions Henley to use the buttons. Have you sewn, Naomi, have you sewn a Love Notions pattern before? I just went on their website the other day because a bunch of people have commented that that's a good place to get a pattern for my nieces. I want to make a knit dress for my niece and using some scraps. And a lot of people had said check out Love Notions, and so I did. And there's a lot of fun looking patterns on their website. Have you sewn Love Notions before, and what do you think of them? I'm just curious because I'm about to buy my first Love Notions pattern, and I'm sure I'll talk about it once I buy it. But is there any tricks or hints? Because it seems a lot of people like Love Notions, and I've never purchased one. Does anybody have any comments about Love Notions patterns? And those are sewing patterns, and it's, no, I haven't, but I've, oh, you have several. To get them printed. Okay, you need a boyfriend that works for an engineering firm that has one of those massive printers. One of the best perks of my boyfriend is he's an engineer. And so he has those massive printers at his office. So sometimes I buy a pattern. My Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans, actually, that was, I think, 4 pages of the AO copy shop. I downloaded that file and I emailed it to my boyfriend. I'm like, Big Daddy, will you print this? Yeah, get rid of husband. No, or just make husband go work for an engineering firm or an architectural firm. That's what I would do. Get rid of the husband and just get a boyfriend that does that. No. Just say, hey. Or get a friend that works at one of those. And I said, please print this up when you're at work. And he's been really kind and has always printed up. I think I had another pattern that I got from Peppermint Magazine, and I did the copy shop version, and he printed it. Yes? Now she's barking at me. Yes, Penny? Yes? But it is kind of funny because that's what he does. He prints them for me. But the Dawn jeans, that was well worth it. That was 4 pages copy shop. And even though I probably wasn't going to make all the different variations, I am to have it and to be able to trace it easy instead of putting the pieces together if I did it at home and all the tape or glue I would go through. There's some patterns. Yes? She's just barking at me. There are some patterns like the Nina Lee South Bank sweater. That one was no big deal. I pasted and put it all together for myself, and it's still good, and I've made that multiple times. But then there's other ones where I want it to be so precise that I would rather get the copy shop print. And even a local copier from you probably could print it out. We have I forget the name of it, but it's a copy place or like a printer, and they're right next to my grocery store, and I probably could go in there and see what they would charge to do it, just so I don't have to put those pattern pages together and print them all out on my printer. Yes, Penny? Can you hear her barking? She's throwing out a couple of barks at me. What is it? We're okay. Everything's fine. PF plotting before, but I think the price has gone up. Yeah, I haven't used any of those before just because of my boyfriend. But I have, if I don't want to wait and I found a pattern I like on the weekend, I tend to just go for it and print it and put it together if it's not too big. Otherwise, I just send them to his email and wait for when he's in the office again to print them. And probably shouldn't say that on a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live, should I? Ask him to please print that up for me. But he's real good about doing it. And it's not like I buy a lot of patterns. We're talking maybe one every couple of months. So I usually make these sweaters, a sweater, knit or crochet for my nieces every year for Christmas. That's their Christmas present from me. And even though I know they're going to grow out of them, I feel like it's become... Oh, how old is Penny? I got Penny a year ago, and she was estimated to be about 4 years old. She came from a shelter, and she was a return. Originally, she was at a shelter in Mississippi. Yes, she came from Mississippi originally. They brought her up here, so I don't know what her history in Mississippi was, but she was in Mississippi. She was transferred to a shelter up here. Hi, Tiffany. Oh, it was too loud. She came from a shelter in Mississippi. They brought her up here. She was adopted out. The people kept her like 6 months and then returned her. So the day she was returned was the day I decided to, after 2 years of not having a dog, go online and look for a dog. And there was her picture, and I called them, and it was, last year, still kind of COVID restrictions, and they said, you can come over at this time and look at her, because they were doing appointments only, and it was the same day. And so I jumped in the car and went and got her. It was just that simple. So we think she's about 5 years old now, but we really don't know. My vet estimated her around 4 at that time. I know, she's a good dog. And I don't know why she was returned or why they had to ship her from Mississippi up here, if she was returned out there. That kind of stuff, her history, I don't know. She was really timid. She is very sweet. But I will say, when I got her, we had a long adjustment period. I've always had dogs. My last dog died 2 years before, and he was very sick, and I spent a couple of years taking care of him and giving him the best quality life I could. And he was one of a kind. So it's a big adjustment to go from a dog that was such a member of the family to learning and, adjusting to a new dog, and an adult dog at that, and realize that they're nothing like my old dog. But she has some similar features to my old dog, but she's quirky. Penny's very quirky. She doesn't go potty in our yard. We have a wonderful, nice, big yard that she refuses to go potty in. So I walk her twice a day. And then we have potty breaks. And we're coming up to a potty break here shortly. I'm going to check my time too because we also have a vet appointment today. So I want to make sure she does her business before we go in to see the vet. She barks at strangers. She sometimes barks at me when she wants something and I don't know. So yeah, and during walks, she barks at anybody she sees. She barks at other dogs. I think it's an anxiety. I think it's because she's on the leash with me. I do want to get her signed up for a dog park by us. My other dog, we would take to dog parks, and he didn't like being on a leash with people around. Like, he would get that anxiety too, but I'd let him go in a dog park, and he was fine. He'd let people touch him. He'd play with the other dogs. So I just want to try her out at a dog park, but we'll see. We might do that come spring. Maybe work on some leash training a little bit more. She's a good girl though, and she's so loving, and she always wants to be touching me or on me. But yeah, and we don't know exactly what her breed is. I promised my nieces we would do a DNA test. So hopefully coming up here, we will do a DNA test and we'll be able to show everybody what happens and what the results are, because I feel like a lot of people like a Penny. And who doesn't? She is a sweet thing. She is a really sweet thing. Penny, do you see them? But yeah, we will. We do want to do a DNA test on her, and you can buy those everywhere now. They're easily found online. We have our ideas of what we think, part of her. Yeah, she is so sweet, isn't she, Tiff? We have ideas of what, I think she looks like a miniature greyhound, but she has the colorings of like a beagle. My vet said her white paws, and there's only a handful of breeds that have white paws, and she has 4 white paws. So we think there's some terrier in her. But these ears are just so different, aren't they? She's got really nice big ears and such a tiny little head. And she's not as bright as my last dog, and that's a hard thing. Like, you just assume they're going to learn a word. My last dog knew so many words. My last dog knew the word for every toy. Every one of his toys, you could say, go get your frog. He would go get his frog. Go get, I don't even remember some of his toys now, but every toy had a name, and he knew every name. So he knew a lot of words, and she doesn't. She doesn't. She knows outside, she knows potty, but she doesn't know like car or ride. So there's a lot of things we don't have to be careful what we say because she hasn't caught on yet. But she's finally started catching on with gotta go potty outside. If she does, she'll get all excited. Yeah. So here I am, just crafting away. And we check our time. It looks like we've been on 28 minutes, so I think we're getting towards the end of our time because we're going to have to hit the vet. It'll be nice chatting with you. I have to get, yeah, me too. Oh, you're sewing patio seat cushions. Oh, that's so sweet of you. There we go, and there's my timer. I will see everybody later. Thanks for checking in.